Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. In today's video, we'll talk about metal detectors. There are basically two types of metal detectors, continuous wave and pulse induction. In both cases, you'll need a coil, or more precisely, at least one coil. Let's say this one in my hand is a transmitter coil. This transmitter coil will radiate energy. Something usually happens in the metal object, and there's often a receiver coil that detects a change in the signal, allowing us to determine if metal is present. Basically, we need a coil and a capacitor. What you have to do is fully charge up the capacitor and then connect the capacitor to this coil for a few microseconds. As a result, current will flow through the coil, and this twist will significantly influence the signal generated in the coil. I recorded what kind of signal the impulse detector emits. So I recorded what kind of signal we measure here at my coil. So I have an electronic circuit. This circuit briefly connects a capacitor similar to this one to a coil like this, and at that moment, a high voltage suddenly appears across the coil. Then the circuit switches off this voltage, and the voltage gradually dies down. Depending on how this voltage dies down, after some signal processing, a processor can figure out if there's some kind of metal there. So, there's a relatively large coil here. This one has a diameter of 28 centimeters. When building it, you have to make sure that there are no metal parts in this area, so I also used cable ties to attach the lid to this wooden piece. I glued the wooden disc into the wooden rod, so there are no screws here at all. And on this side, there's an output, actually one or maybe two. Only the two ends of the coil are here, running up along the side of the wooden rod through a speaker cable. Here is the other end. The rod comes up from there, and I attached a handle. Use this handle to carry the detector. I also glued the wooden handle in place. I put a plexiglass sheet here and mounted this electronic unit. You'll need a 12-volt power supply for it to work. I placed a small converter adapter in the handle, which takes the 5 volts from this USB cable, the one hanging out from the end here, and converts it to 12 volts. So far, I think everything's working fine. And Tivarisu Sentyanicha Shastov Klasa Tritsitva. So this device actually speaks Russian. There is an English version available as well, but I didn't notice during the initial order process that I'd be getting the Russian one. Right now, the battery is at 12.6 volts, but it's not measuring this battery. It's measuring the one that the converter uses. So, it shows the battery voltage here. Here it shows that the volume is set to 6. With this, you can basically adjust the device's sensitivity, and this line, when it goes up, black bars will appear here, and those will indicate that there's some kind of metal there. Now I'll move it a bit closer to the charger adapter here, and you can see that it immediately jumped up. Here, they show what diameter coils you can build, as well as how many turns you'll need and what diameter wire you should use. In my case, I used the 280mm coil. The closest here is the 300, which required 20 turns. I actually put 21 turns on it. So this device will only work properly if you stick to the recommended number of turns and the advice regarding the diameter, and if everything is correct, the inductance will be around 400 microhenries, which is what will make the device work well. Using this powerful hand drill, I carefully made a hole that is approximately 55 centimeters deep, so it is actually measuring roughly between 50 and 54 or 55 centimeters in total depth. Let's get started right now. I will carefully mark the specific area with these wooden sticks, just like this. Let's see what happens. And right here in the middle of our setup, you can clearly see the hole. First, let's take a moment to see exactly what happens when there is absolutely no metal present inside the hole. The device is now fully calibrated and ready for the measurement. I will carefully move it over the opening, making sure that the detector's display remains perfectly visible on the screen for you to follow. Positioned like this, you can see that it doesn't indicate any signal or change at all. So right now, as you can see, there's absolutely nothing in the ground here. I'll carefully put the size 8 bolt into the hole first. It's about 20 centimeters long, roughly, but I'll measure it much more precisely at the very end. The string holds the bolt nicely in place so it doesn't fall all the way to the bottom of the hole. I align the crosshair carefully, and now let's bring in the detector. Here I have the detector in my hand, and I'm slowly approaching now. I hope you can clearly see that the display here shows, in my personal opinion, the actual signal strength. And at the same time, it's making a proper musical sound. So it's definitely detecting the bolt. I'll place it much deeper now. I've placed the size 8 bolts significantly deeper. So let's see. Well, it barely picks it up at this depth. By the way, it doesn't indicate the object right in the center here, as you might expect, but rather when it gets closer to the edge. So, if the object is more on this part or on that part, it detects it more easily than if it's right in the center. That's exactly the case right now. Here, it still just barely picks it up. Let's see how many centimeters away the screw is. I've got the measuring tape in my hand. I'll pull out the screw. And I hope you can see it. As you can clearly see right here, it was about half a meter away, just like this, and I am currently holding the other end of the tool. So basically, it went all the way down to the very bottom of the hole that I drilled earlier, because according to my exact measurement, the hole was 55 centimeters deep. So it successfully detects a screw like this at a total depth of 50 centimeters. Now let us see what happens if we use an 8mm metal rod instead. I will go ahead and put it in first. We have currently reached a depth of approximately 20 to 25 centimeters into the ground. Now, let's carefully bring in the metal detector to see if it can still find the target, even deeper into the hole to further test the machine's capabilities. Let's say we go down another 10 centimeters or so from the previous point, which means that now the object is sitting roughly at a total depth of 40 centimeters below the surface. Let's take a closer look and see how it should be performing right now. Let's check the status. Well, as you can see, there is really not much of a signal left on the display, but surprisingly, it is still picking it up just a little bit. I am going to lower it all the way down to the very bottom of the range now. Now that it is there, it simply won't go any deeper than this. Well, now it's barely giving us any signal at all, almost fading out completely. Doesn't seem to detect it at all right now. I'll go ahead and pull it back up just a little bit. I have raised it to about 10 centimeters above the surface. Now it is probably sitting at a total depth of approximately 40 centimeters. Let's see if an 8mm metal nut placed at a depth of 40 centimeters can actually be detected. Well, there is just a very faint and weak signal coming through. Let's check exactly how many centimeters deep it was at. That's 41 centimeters, so the estimate with 40 centimeters was pretty accurate. So here, the 8mm nut placed at 40 centimeters in the ground is detectable, and the 8mm bolt placed at 50 centimeters is also detectable. This is pretty much the maximum capability of this device. Before I head back to the workshop, I'll show you the cool little menu system the Russians came up with. Let's take a look at the various menu items available here. By the way, this specific setting is for the backlight, so you can conveniently adjust the brightness of the backlight right here. This is the minimum battery voltage threshold at which the device will provide a signal to indicate that the battery level is running low. At the present moment, this is set to 10.5 volts. As you can see, the device is currently operating in the automatic mode. If I'm not mistaken, this refers to the audible notification alert method, and you can set it to a variety of different selectable options. I think specifically 3 types. It is not actually that many choices, maybe 2 or 3 types. And if you manage to exit from here, then in this menu item, you can set things related to the volume. The first menu item that was here specifically referred to the volume. The very first one we looked at when we started was the specific volume level set to 6. Before you head out treasure hunting with a device like this, it's good to know the legal regulations. I won't go into that now, but finding something is one thing and keeping it is another. So remember, what you find isn't necessarily yours to keep. Regardless, I think it's a really great hobby. I've really enjoyed it. You can go out into nature and search for treasure. So far, I've only found beer caps, but better luck next time. So I'm glad you're here. Happy treasure hunting to you. Bye, everyone.